You guys look like spring.
I know, right? Right. That's what we went for.
The day to celebrate has finally come, and we're so excited. Now, I know what you are all thinking. I didn't know that they made ministers that sexy. Well, they didn't, and that's not until I was ordained, at least. I am Jared and Carly's friend, Jacob. I am, in fact, an ordained minister. However, I only had to push 4 or 5 buttons online, and then, boom, just like that. I'm a holy man in the eyes of my friends and the Lord. It's wonderful. In reality, I'm a high school English teacher. So I'm not completely out of my element. I spend a lot of time speaking in front of people who wish I would wrap things up. I can't lie, I'm a little nervous. I haven't spoken in front of this many people before. So if you guys would help me out a little bit, I would feel a lot more comfortable if you pop an AirPod in and keep your hands in your lap and stare at your crotch as you're texting each other. That would be great. That's what I'm used to. And if any of you need to go to the bathroom, why don't you just come on up here as I'm saying something pretty important and ask me to take a piss. That would be a normal thing for me to experience. So now here's the amazing thing. Carly told me that I can say whatever I want. And God did Jared and I have a little giggle conjuring up some pretty awful things to say. However, for the sake of my friendship and my job security as an educator of children, I will probably abstain from some of those details today. But on the other hand, for those of you who have been married before, you know you remember absolutely nothing from your wedding day. You are basically up here holding hands with the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, hoping that you're once again sexy as hell minister, which just wrap things up quick. And I promise I won't take very long, but I do have a funny little opportunity here. I could say virtually anything I want. So I guess I could talk a little bit about the question we've all been wondering. How did Jared end up with someone as beautiful as Carly? Or I could tell you about the time in college when Jared, under the influence of alcohol or undiagnosed ADHD, attacked me and wrestled me wearing nothing but a tube sock. Charlie, the big tall usher, he was there. I just remember his tube sock was quite a bit smaller. So, Jared, that's not a compliment to you either. But I figured instead of turning this into a roast of you both and doing what I usually do and funneling all attention towards myself, I'd probably go ahead and talk about the real reason we're here. And that's to celebrate you two, to honor you two, and to witness something as common yet miraculous as 2 people committing their lives to each other and to celebrate your love story. So thank you so much. You can all take a seat. I'll have a few brief words here, and then we'll get on with the ceremony. I will not claim to be a love expert. My wife will tell you I'm only a very average husband, and I only very loosely claim to be an officiant. But I do know an amazing love story when I see one, and your guys' love story is truly amazing. A little bit later, Jared's grandfather and grandmother are going to read a few words from the greatest love story in the history of man, and that's between Christ and his church. And as I was reflecting on those words and preparing for today, I realized how well you both already love the way Christ intended us to. I realized how God has already blessed you, and I realized that what makes a love story so miraculous isn't that it's perfect, or that you guys will always be as happy as you are today, but that if you follow God's outline for what it means to love each other, your love story will endure. So how do you go about following this outline? By the way, this isn't like my idea. This is God's word. So if you want to roll your eyes and, oh, here goes the minister again, getting all preachy, take it up with the big man. But 1 Corinthians tells us that love is patient. I'm sure you have already tested each other in this regard, and I know for a fact you will again. Carly, Jared will test your patience. When he returns from 5 hours of golfing and drinking birdie juice with his buddies, what makes your love story a miracle is that despite wanting to wring his rather thick neck, you will bite your tongue and ask, "How did you play, honey?" And Jared, there will come a time where Carly is being irrational. No chance. Definitely. But what's going to make your love story great is that instead of immediately responding or explaining yourself, you take a moment to be patient. You sit and you listen, not just hearing her, but really listening to her. Now, these things take practice, but your patience for each other is what makes your love story amazing. Your patience is what will allow your love story to endure. 1 Corinthians also tells us that love is kind. Thankfully, you both have no trouble with this one. All people here can attest that you two have some of the kindest hearts around. Jared, since second grade, I have witnessed you be an inviting friend, a loyal teammate, a volunteer of your time, your skills and talents, a dedicated employee and coworker, and an advocate for all people. Both your closest friends and mere acquaintances. In middle school, when a classmate of Jared's with special needs routinely called him by the other Asian kid in our class's name, though I suspect she was doing this to get a rise out of him, you gracefully corrected her, and you forgave her with more maturity and kindness than any of us could have done. Though that story still makes me giggle a little bit today, I think it more clearly illustrates how kind of a heart you have. And Carly, even though our friendship does not span the years, stories, or experience that Jared and I's does, your kindness can be seen and felt by anyone you come in contact with. The first time meeting you, you made me feel like an old friend. You made my wife feel like she could come out of her shell, and you fit into our friend group like someone who has also been there since we were 14. And it's not just me that feels that way. It's your best friends standing up here today. It's your friends from work, college, high school, middle school, and even your childhood who are here to celebrate you today that would say the exact same thing. You ask questions, you listen, you show interest. You welcome people and you use your sense of humor to make everyone around you smile and enjoy their day a little bit more. Carly, God has truly given you the gift of a kind heart. But what will make your love story amazing is if that you use that kindness that God has given both of you with each other. Every married couple in this crowd today would tell you that marriage isn't easy. And you've heard this, and you know this, and you've prepared for this. And I know it sounds silly and a little cliche, and that you won't feel like one of the old, crabby married couples, but I'll tell you, it sneaks up on you quick. Right, honey? One of the best things you can do for your marriage is show kindness. Be kind to your spouse. You're a pretty amazing person. And be kind to yourself. You won't be perfect, but God has made each of you as loving and kind individuals. Believe that about yourself, and you'll be a better partner for your spouse. I know that your love story is one that will endure because God has already given you both the gift of incredible kindness. Finally, the last piece of God's outline that I want to highlight to you is that love endures all things. Now, this does not necessarily have to be significant hardships that you are enduring. There is something amazing to be said about the mundane aspects of your marriage that it will endure. Carly, you look beautiful today. But Jared, she won't always be wearing this beautiful dress. And there will come a time when, judging off of the nap pictures that you take of her and like to post online, she will probably be rigged up with a CPAP machine, hoses going everywhere, and she won't be such a sleeping beauty then. And Carly, believe it or not, Jared will not always have this chiseled, tall physique. He might bleach his hair orange blonde because he lost a bet, or recreationally choose to keep that horrendous little mustache because it makes him feel like more of a man. And both of you will have to endure these things. However, there will be times of great trial in your love story, and you'll have to endure it. And in some ways, it already has. You both have patiently waited to find the right person. There have been ups and downs, twists and turns, heartbreaks and moments of loneliness, but you have made it here today with the person that God has intended you to spend the rest of your life with. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing. There will be more times of struggle, more hardship, and more trials and tribulations. But with each other by your side, and with the support of your family and friends and God's continued blessings, your love story can endure. Because of your patience for each other, the kindness that God has already blessed you with, and the choice that you are making to endure all things, we're all so excited to watch your love story unfold. With that being said, Jared and Carly have chosen a few verses from God's Word to be shared with us today. So at this time, I would like to welcome Jared's grandmother and grandfather up to read a little bit from the Bible. I'm going to be very careful so they don't fall off the back here. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to move this mic right over.
This is from Colossians 3:12 through 17. So as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other. Whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as the Lord forgave you, so must you do also. In addition to all these things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. Let the peace of Christ, which you were indeed called in one body, rule in your hearts, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell within you with all wisdom and teaching. Whatever you do in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to him, to God the Father.
Oh no. All right. If you spend money on a real minister, this will be about that.
Video, did we get that? Okay. I think you should start with that. All right. That's great. I told you today would be absolutely perfect. Now, to refocus things, as a minister of the Lord, I feel as though it's my responsibility to remind you that when you feel all else has failed, do you need a second? I got some good stuff here, man. When all else has failed in your marriage, when you're looking for something, when you're searching, turn to these words. Seek God, seek his guidance, and your love story will endure. At this time, Jared and Carly have agreed to exchange rings, vows and I do's as a symbol and a promise of the love that they have for each other. Now, much can be said about the symbolic gesture that these two are about to partake in. And originally, Jared suggested that I reenact the scene from I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, where Rob Schneider's character explains that a ring is like a circle and has no stops. But I think that humor is probably frowned upon in 2024, and besides Jared, you do the voice and the bass a lot better than I could. So at this time, I ask that whomever was deemed more responsible between Zach and Ian to please bring me the ring. That probably would have been my pick too. Jared, you're gonna get your ring first. I don't want Carly to lose this thing before we wrap up. Carly, you're gonna take this. Please place the ring on Jared and listen to the vows you are promising to and the attentions you are making. And at the end, I will ask you to respond. Do you, Carly, take Jared to be your husband? to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, as long as you both shall live. If so, please say, I do. Wonderful. Now, Jared, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Please place the ring on Carly and listen to the vows you are promising to and the intentions you are making. At the end, I will ask you to respond. Do you, Jared, take Carly to be your wife, to have and to hold, from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poor, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, as long as you both shall live? If so, I think he means it, folks. Wonderful. Now, Jared and Carly, I swear I am almost done. Jared clearly wants to wrap things up. This hasn't been super graceful for him. He wants to start dancing. I just want to do one more thing, if you would allow me. Would you guys, and you can still hold hands, would you turn and face the audience really quickly? If you want to make eye contact with them, you can. If you want to give a little wave, no one's stopping you. If you want to look over the tops of their heads because you're horribly uncomfortable, you can do that too. But know this. This is your village. These people have traveled miles to be with you here today. And it wasn't just the promise of alcohol, a free meal, and the opportunity to take work off that they're here today. They're here because they love you. They believe in you, and they're excited to witness the miracle that your love story is. You can face me again. But audience, family members, friends, and you incredibly attractive people standing up here with me today, you have an obligation as well. There's no such thing as a free meal. By RSVPing to this wedding, by eating their food and embarrassing yourselves on the dance floor tonight, you too are making a promise to Jared and Carly. You're promising to celebrate their victories with them. You are promising to comfort them while they're at their lowest lows. And you are promising to pray for them, that God will continue to bless their lives together in the miracle that is their love story. Jared and Carly, this is what we are all promising to you today, and we couldn't be more excited. So now, the moment you wish would have come 16 minutes and 46 seconds ago and one embarrassing fall at the altar ago. Without any further ado, by the power vested in me by the great, great state of Wisconsin, the Universal Life Church and the Internet, it is my honor, my privilege, to present to you for the first time as a married couple, Mr. and Mrs. and Sarah. Jared, you may kiss your bride.
Watching you walk my way, I could just stop and stare for days. All of my dreams come true every day that I'm with you. I can't believe, I can't believe you're flies to the stars. All of my love is yours, darling, I've never been so sure. I can't believe, no, I can't believe you're run away, we can get lost, let's start today. Cause if we run together, we'll be running the right way. Take my hand, let's run away, we can get lost, let's start today. run together, we'll be running the right way. Running the right way. I can't believe you're let's run away. We could get lost, let's leave today. 'Cause if we run together, we'll be running the right way.